Welcome back. MACFRUT is an annual international trade fair held in Rimini, Italy, dedicated to the fruit and vegetable sector. It serves as a significant meeting point for industry professionals, including producers, exporters, importers, retailers, and suppliers of machinery, packaging, and logistics. The event showcases a wide range of products, technologies, and services related to the fruit and vegetable supply chain from seed to shelf. Namibia, through the Namibia Agronomic Board, will be participating in this year's edition, and we're excited to have Mr. Gilbert Mulonda, the General Manager of Agronomy and Horticulture Market Department, speaking to us about Namibia's participation at MACFRUT 2024. Mr. Mulonda, good evening and welcome.
Yes, good evening, Nina, and good evening to our listeners.
Mr. Mulonda, just to begin with, please provide a bit more information on Namibia's decision to showcase its potential in fresh produce at MACFRUT 2024 and what the main objectives were behind this participation.
All right, thank you very much, Nina. The Namibian Agronomic Board, through the Namibian Embassy in France and the Namibia Investment and Promotion Board, was actually invited to participate in the MACFRUT 2024 in Rimini in Italy this year. So the objective of this event was basically for Namibia to showcase in terms of what we have, what we can offer to the international market in terms of fresh fruits and vegetables. And some of our priority fruits that were actually being showcased today, it's dates, blueberries, and grapes. So these are some of the fruits that were actually showcased at the event.
Mm-hmm. Other than blueberries and grapes, Mr. Mulonda, which other type of fresh produce was highlighted?
Yes, the MACFRUT itself, it's an event that takes care of all the fruits and vegetables, including services, technology, and so on. So apart from what I have mentioned earlier on, we also be able to showcase some vegetables like tomatoes and green peppers that are currently exported, particularly to South Africa, which could also be exported to some of these markets.
Mr. Mulonda, what challenges does Namibia face in exporting its fresh produce to international markets such as Italy, and how is government addressing these challenges?
Yes, one of the biggest challenge, as you know, in terms of the high value fruits that we actually produce currently, these fruits are actually mainly produced along the Orange River. And water is one of the biggest challenges there. As you know, the Orange River relies on the availability of rainfall for it to be able to supply water. So that is one of the biggest challenges that we have. And there are discussions to see how alternative source of water can be explored, like maybe through a natural dam that can be constructed somewhere to actually be able to supply water in cases where the Orange River runs dry as a result of climate change. Mm-hmm. So then, apart from that, we also have got climate change itself affecting particularly the time of harvesting. As you know, Namibia have got a window of opportunity to enter international market, at least 2 to 3 weeks before everyone else in terms of table grapes. So due to climate change, it happens that some years, the harvest normally takes place a little bit late. And therefore, you actually end up in a market that is already flooded with so many players, and the prices are not normally good during such years. So I think those are some of the challenges that we have currently, and issues related to climate change, because table grapes are grown under open field. So it's really very difficult to address some of these issues because they are caused by nature. And therefore, the only way to solve the problem is actually to find some early maturing varieties that you can be able to push in the market much earlier than everyone else.
What strategies, Mr. Mulonda, is Namibia developing to, expand its fresh produce exports beyond the traditional markets?
Yes, in terms of our traditional, Europe is one of our traditional market currently. So there are strategies that are put in place to actually upscale the production of existing products for new markets, like China is one of them. So it's one of the markets that we have been discussing for quite some time now. So as we speak, we are at an advanced stage to really get things in place to make sure that Namibia could also be able to export table grapes and many other fruits to the Chinese market in this case. So I think that is one of the strategies that we use to make sure that we are able to upscale production of the current products and also explore new products to expand the diversity of the products that Namibia can be able to offer, to go into production of citrus and also looking at avocados and also plus nuts in this case.
In terms of Namibia's agriculture and export strategy, what role does sustainability and environmentally friendly practices play?
Yes, sustainability is very key to any business because if you do not practice sustainability in your farming business, you will at some stage face challenges, either be social or environmental or economic challenges in this case. So, and then therefore, there are various standards that are actually implemented at farm level to ensure that the farming practice becomes sustainable. So we have got the local GAP standard that is being introduced in Namibia currently. It's a food safety standard mainly, but it also touches on aspects of environmental and social issues as well. So apart from that, this standard will be able to assist farmers to transition better to an international standard that we call the global GAP standard. So that is one of the standards that is being implemented at farm level if you want to penetrate some of these international markets. So and then therefore, as a result of that, we want to ensure that the farming business becomes sustainable from all aspects of sustainability. So I think that's what we are looking at in terms of ensuring sustainability of the crop industry.
Other than adapting this global GAP standard, could you outline perhaps some specific initiatives or programs that Namibia is implementing to enhance the quality and competitiveness of its fresh produce for international markets?
Yes, in terms of competitiveness and quality, I think the whole issue boils down to the aspect of building a reputable brand for Namibian products in the international market. So the Namibian Agronomic Board has introduced a program whereby all products that goes out of the country are actually inspected for quality and food safety before they are actually exported outside the country. Because once these products, they are actually in the international market, they are no longer viewed as a product of a specific farmer or a specific exporter, but it's being viewed as a Namibian product. So that is one of the programs that we are implementing to ensure competitiveness of the Namibian products in the international market from all aspects in terms of, particularly in terms of quality and food safety. But then there is also the other program, incentives that we do have for exporters. As we speak, exports in Namibia are actually exempted from paying levies. So that is an incentive to make sure that exporters are able to penetrate these markets, which is with a much cheaper and competitive product in the international market.
Mr. Mulonda, looking ahead, what are the broader goals or vision that Namibia has for its agricultural exports, particularly now in terms of market diversification and value-added products?
Yes, in terms of export, our strategy really is to make sure that we are able to maximize what we have in terms of the climate, in terms of the soil conditions, in terms of the market that you already have, to be able to upscale production within the products that we are currently producing, like grapes, blueberries, dates, and other fruits and vegetables. So that is the strategy that we are using going forward in the future to make sure that we are able to attract investment in that area to upscale production. On the other hand, we also realize that Namibia could also become a major player in some of the aspects of fruit production, particularly when it comes to citrus. Currently, South Africa is the biggest exporter of citrus fruits in Africa. And therefore, Namibia, with the climate that we have, we could also become a major player. And therefore, there is that drive as well to really expand the product lines that we are currently producing for the export market. And I must be able to also state clearly that in terms of table grapes, Namibia actually is the third exporter in Africa after South Africa and Egypt. And it's number 20 globally in terms of table grape export out of 137 countries. So I think that really reflects in terms of how significant Namibia is in international market. So I think those are some of the strategies that we are actually looking at to make sure that we are able to expand our product line and also be able to expand our markets, move away from the traditional markets, or at least maintain the traditional markets and explore new markets such as China and so on. Thank you.
Mr. Gilbert Mulonda, thank you so much for your time this evening, and thank you for joining us here on the Daily Roundup.
Thank you.
That was Mr. Gilbert Mulonda from the Namibia Agronomic Board speaking to us about Namibia's participation at MACFRUT in Rimini, Italy this year. MACFRUT is an international trade fair held in Rimini, Italy, dedicated to the fruit and vegetable sector. We'll be right back with more conversation after this.